Hello there, folks, and welcome to another edition of
This is Just In.
Well, folks, after the last episode of This Just In, it seemed the story of Ethan Ralph and his teenage girlfriend Faith was coming to a close. From what we could see, Faith's parents had helped her escape the Ralph family crack shack. They flew out to the East Coast to pick her up and bring her home. But in a bizarre twist, Faith did not return home. And on the 17th of this week in August, Ethan Ralph posted this image. This, of course, had everyone cringing in their seats. What the hell was going on? Well, this is where Mr. Vickers comes in. Mr. Vickers is Faith's father, and he had been doing everything he could think of to get his daughter out of the chubby T-Rex arms of Ethan Ralph. He took to Twitter to answer the influx of what the fuck's coming from the internet. Now, because of these tweets from Mr. Vickers, we get much more information on just how manipulative Faith has been. Not only had she been stringing along Ethan Ralph and her other boyfriend, her own father was now claiming that she grifted him for the sum total of $10,000. Apparently, Mr. Vickers and his wife had flown across the country to take their daughter home. But after spending a few days with her, it was clear to Mr. Vickers that she was still lying about her intentions. And, well, now we all know how it ended. But how did it happen? And why? Well, Mr. Vickers decided to recount the details of how it all went wrong on his new website, aborttheretort.com. Here, Mr. Vickers posted an entire timeline of events that span from Faith disappearing from home to present day. And holy cow, it's as long as a novel. Now, there are some very interesting details within this wall of text, but for the sake of your time, I'll just pick up on the most recent and relevant portion of the text that details what happened when the parents met up with Faith in Washington, D.C. to take her home, their response to Ralph leaking his sex tape, and how Faith ended up back at Ralph's crack shack. And because I'm too lazy to sit here and read it to you, here's a clip of a live streamer that goes by the name Phantom Organization reading the post.
It got up, got out, and knocked some stuff off our mutual bucket lists. Washington Monument, at least seeing it up close. World War II Memorial, Reflecting Pool, Lincoln Memorial. Just before Lincoln, we got slammed with a sudden rainstorm and were completely soaked, but in a fun way. We bought some umbrellas in the Lincoln Memorial gift shop, and they worked. As soon as we had them, the rain stopped. On the way back to the hotel, Faith asks if she can have dinner with her friends May and Gray. Yes, I now know who they are, because it is supposedly Gray's birthday. My red flag bullshit meter starts going crazy, because of course I've been monitoring Kiwi Farms boards, and have it on pretty good authority that Ralph will be at this dinner. I explained this to Faith, and she immediately drops the idea and says, "Fuck no, I don't want to go if he's going to be there." This does nothing to silence my red flags bullshit monitor. Something's up, and Mrs. V and I know that there is something Faith is not telling us. Unfortunately, Mrs. V slips in the tub at the hotel getting ready for a dinner reservation at the Capitol Grill. She can't go, so Faith and I figure that some father-daughter time is probably a good idea. I like everything about this restaurant. Low lighting, great atmosphere, and a bunch of animal head trophies on the wall. I make a passing reference to how the restaurant was exactly how I planned to decorate my Gunt dungeon, but I would put his head on the right side. But I would put his head to the right of the elk and his gunt on the left, because the gunt deserves its own trophy space. Faith seemed a little irritated by my musings. I am admittedly not the funniest guy in the world, but I expected that joke to land. Okay, the dad murdering loser ex-boyfriend jokes had probably run their course. I can read a room, so I backed off. The rest of dinner went swimmingly. Back to the hotel, and all went to sleep. Since July 9th, I have not slept well, so I was up monitoring the Kiwi Farms boards, seeing if I could get more insight, and that's when I saw the posts that Ralph said she would be back to him Monday by 4 p.m. Well, that's not good. I slept with one eye open most of that night. August 10th, Monday. Ooh, this one is big, boys. August 10th, Monday. I got up early, if I slept at all. I honestly don't remember, and told Mrs. V that I was worried Faith was planning to find a way to get back to VA. Mrs. V had the same feeling of doom, so game time. Like a sly, fat, white ninja, I slipped Faith's phone from her hand. Yes, she fucking sleeps with the phone clutched in her goddamn hand while she was sleeping, and managed to get her laptop away as well. Once I had them both, I locked them in the hotel safe. Naturally, when Faith awoke, she didn't say anything at first, but started searching the hotel like she was missing her heart medication. Eventually, I told her what I had done. Mrs. V and I told her that we thought it would be nice to do a trust exercise and see if she could go 24 hours disconnected. Just one day, obviously, we were leaving Tuesday, so our goal here should seem clear. Faith did not like this idea one bit, so I gave her a notebook and asked her to write every major catastrophe that would happen in 24 hours if she didn't have her devices. I'll share that list on the privileged information part of this site later. While she was writing down her ridiculous list, I emailed Ralph and told him that I appreciated that he was going to mail back the items that Faith did not have the opportunity to grab, and that I wanted to find a way to send him money for the shipping. I stared at Faith while I was typing this, and read aloud what I was typing. The look on her face pretty much told me what was going to come back.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The look on her face pretty much told me what was going to come back. Oh, as a response, okay. Ralph responded quickly, very confused, confessing that he had been under the impression that Faith was coming back. That led to a meltdown of discovery and lies so unbelievable that it deserves its own separate section, which I will include elsewhere in this site. For the sake of brevity here, let's just say that Faith was telling Ralph since day one that she was returning to him. She was telling us the whole time that she was coming back with us. Someone was getting grifted, and neither of us really knew who it was. Many things were said, but what ultimately happened was the classic go-to Faith card when she wants attention, wants to create a false persona, or wants to get out of consequences. She threatened self-harm and said that she felt like killing herself. Personally, I called bullshit in my head, but kept my mouth shut. I knew that Mrs. V also was calling bullshit in her head, but we don't fuck around with stuff like that. So Mrs. V said, well, then you need to go to a hospital right now for a psych evaluation. Is that what you want to do? Faith nodded her sad, weepy head, and we took her to George Washington University Hospital. I dropped Faith and Mrs. V at the emergency room and found a parking garage. After getting lost/trapped in a stairwell, of all things, for 30 minutes and feeling quite the fool, I finally tasted sweet freedom and found my way back to the hospital, where I met Mrs. V outside. Mrs. V used to work in admissions at an emergency room, so she knew that waiting on an initial psych evaluation would take a while. So we set out on foot to find a place to have lunch. Less than an hour into her being at the hospital, Ralph reached out to me because she had called him. We went back and forth, and it was cordial, but he confessed serious doubts about their relationship and that it had started with lies. No shit? By now, Faith had told Ralph the truth, that she did not come from an abusive home, and Chris had started leaking his stuff. So Ralph was getting a pretty look at the real picture. We went back and forth with myself and Mrs. V, essentially pleading with Ralph to let us take her home and get her help, because she was obviously very sick. Just not in the way she had presented to others. Depression, anxiety, self-harm, suicidal ideations. Ralph seemed to agree, but was so caught up in an emotional sunken cost fallacy that he still said he would take her back if she asked him. Mrs. V and I made it clear to him, as we made it very clear to Faith before we took her to the hospital, that should she decide to go back to Ralph, especially after summoning us across the country like willing fools on a false rescue mission, the consequences would be severe. She would be disowned. She would have no more contact with her brothers. She would receive no inheritance, especially if we were ever overrun and murdered by Gunt guards. There would be no more contact. If Faith chose to not be a part of our family, and in fact, abuse our family, she would be treated as any other adult who had done the things that she had done. What would I do to another adult who spread lies? That I was an abuser? Further, Faith certainly would not be covered by our insurance, and even if we wanted to, it would be out of our control, because she would no longer be our dependent and not enrolled in school in VA full-time. That means that the claim from the hospital would be rejected. This will be This we explained to Ralph because Faith refused to return our calls while she was in the hospital. So, that's going to be a big-ass bill that hits her when our insurance rejects the claim. Ah, that's what they meant. That's what he meant with the thing that Ethan was gonna... Ah. Oh. Okay. So it's the hospital bill that Ethan will have to pay for. Gotcha. By the time we were done with our back and forth with Ralph, we found ourselves only a few blocks from our hotel, so we took a nap and waited for a call from the hospital. Hearing nothing by that evening, I went back to grab the rental out of the haunted Hellraiser maze of a parking garage. We got some dinner and decided to extend our stay by 3 days, but moved from the Trump Hotel to the Embassy Suites by the Convention Center. So, 4-to-1 night cost ratio. Ralph communicated with me throughout the night, becoming more and more concerned with what he was seeing from Chris, which is what prompted my Chris worse than Ralph text, because I was still under the impression that Chris was a psycho-stalker/harasser. I was unaware of how that night would end. August 11th, Tuesday. I awoke to some pretty horrific shit that slammed my Twitter account and my email. Should I find those who thought it necessary to send me those links as a funny joke, faces will be broken. But I suspect that I'll never have the pleasure. A quick analysis of a still image to compare the room with pictures of Ralph's shack on Zillow confirmed the authenticity of the video, so I mercifully did not have to watch it. I immediately texted Ralph, asking him how the hell this had happened, to which he responded with a quick, "I don't know, maybe my phone was hacked." One of my friends who had been helping me monitor Kiwi Farms had already gathered the most pertinent information, and before long, I had enough evidence to see that Ralph obviously released revenge porn on my daughter, and also he could look like a big man to Chris, and possibly, if not probably, was pissed at Faith for her own part in the deception. For fuck's sake. Originally intending to keep this fucking horror show from Mrs. V for as long as possible, I figured, what's the point, and woke her up to tell her what was going on. Needless to say, she was not pleased. We checked out of the Trump Hotel and went straight to the Embassy Suites, where we were able to check in early. While checking in, Mrs. V got a call from the hospital, reported the revenge porn to them, and learned that they wanted to have a family meeting scheduled for the next day. By now, Ralph was agreeing that continuing a relationship was a bad idea for his career, that's rich, and had sent me a text confirming that he would break it off and convince her to go home with us. Reports from Ralph confirmed that she is calling him constantly, absolutely refusing to come home with us and begging to go back with him. This was after she had learned about the revenge porn. We accept this as truth, and it was because she was not returning our calls. August 12th, Wednesday. Doctors call and tell us that the family meeting will not be happening because Faith refuses to speak with us. They are still not going to release her. She continues to call Ralph at every opportunity, and by now, he's confessing to being afraid of what she'll do to him regarding the video if he doesn't cave to her every whim. So be it. We are scheduled...
They donate to you so they don't have to, Joe.
For our seniors, Social Security is a sacred obligation.
Oh my god.
Promise made.
So be it. We are scheduled to fly out on Friday, figuring that they would not hold her past Thursday. We figure that it's over. Despondent, we order some DoorDash and try to relax. It was then that my primary communication with Chris began, or the day before, it's all kind of a blur, where I learned that Chris was not the psycho stalker that I was led to believe, just a young man screwed up for many more reasons, and still very guilty of a crime. Whether or not Faith at 16 had the same problems to the same degree as 18-year-old Faith? Wait. Whether or not Faith at 16 had the same problems to the same degree as 18-year-old Faith, I'll probably never know. But she was still 16 and he was still 21, and as for the narrative that he's pitching that she forced him into an uncomfortable situation, to quote Joe Biden, come on, man. He sent her images too. He admitted, much too easily, to me in writing that he committed these crimes. Thus, he is guilty of those crimes.
They'll come to the door and be like, "Oh yeah, Gator, you're cool," and keep walking. And I'll be like, "All right, cool."
August 13th, Thursday. We get a call from the doctors. Faith has had an apparent change of heart, and now she will do the family meeting. This meeting will be conducted over the phone, thanks COVID, and is scheduled for Friday, the same day we are supposed to fly out. So we extend our trip by an additional 3 days. By now, I have ceased communications with both Ralph and Chris. August 14th, Friday, 11 a.m., family meeting. Attending doctor is good. He gives Mrs. V and I a chance to speak, and then a chance for Faith to respond, and vice versa. He's trying to pitch her a simple truth. Faith claims that she wants to get better. In CA, there is health insurance, additional resources, a large network of stable family and friends. She can continue her relationship long distance with Ralph if her new therapist approves. But if she is interested in getting healthy, the way of CA makes more sense. The way of VA, there's no health insurance, significantly reduced network of friends, and zero family. Faith has no skills to get a job that will provide health insurance, especially not in this COVID job market. Ralph is a felon who will have an even harder time finding a job that will provide insurance, and it is highly dubious that his income level will pay for a private plan. Ours cost $2,650 per month, though granted, we have way more dependents. Yes, it would be cheaper in most circumstances to just cash pay for everything, but here's the gimmick. Mrs. V has chronic illnesses that require a great deal of attention and lab testing. The local labs won't even schedule an appointment if you don't have an insurance plan, so it is what it is. The point is, CA is a good plan for a healthy Faith. VA is a bad plan for a healthy Faith. This just went in one ear and out the other. Faith adamantly refused to return to CA because it was too toxic, and God bless the doc, he had the insight to ask her what toxic means. I could almost see the look on her face over the phone as she thought to herself, "Oh fuck, how am I going to explain this?" Her answer was something along the lines of, "I'm just going to get depressed again and stay in my room all day." Of course, the doctor pointed out that Mrs. V and myself had a great deal of new information now, and that the whole reason that we wanted her back in CA was the sole purpose of getting her help. Faith still refused, and the doc basically told her that he would not discharge her until she could give him an adequate game plan for dealing with her mental health. He doesn't discharge anyone on the weekend anyway, so she would have to stay until Monday at the earliest, and we would all check in then. It was also mentioned to Faith by the doctor that her dream of being a teacher was all but ruined now that Ralph had leaked the sex video. We've all seen what happens to teachers if a sex tape of them is discovered. Faith admits to consenting to the video being made, but specifically says that she did not consent to the tape being leaked. She says that she believes Ralph's story of a hacked phone. Even the doctor explains that, while possible, it's highly improbable. The doctor explains to her that it's even the doctor there is like, no. The doctor is telling her like, no, that's really unlikely. So, as we were scheduled to leave on Monday, we extended our trip by one more day, so that we wouldn't miss a potential opportunity to hopefully bring Faith home. Though our hope by now had all but completely waned that she would see reason. The resident doc who we had been speaking with called us back to explain that they were going to try their best to convince her, but that Faith was able to sign an AMA against medical advice form and leave if she wanted. But that even if she did, it would be 48 hours until she could be released. However, the doc also stated that they were conveniently not mentioning that piece of information, and assumed that Faith did not know about the AMA form, as she had been quite anxious to leave the hospital and return to VA for days. The greatest point to this part of the story is that these doctors were all reasonable people who understood the situation and knew quite clearly that abusive and toxic parents don't fly across the country to rescue their daughter. August 15th, Saturday. Spend most of the day updating family on the situation. Not fun. August 16th, Sunday. Mrs. V and I said fuck it, because we were tired of sitting around in the hotel all day. We went to George Washington's Mount Vernon. It is a spectacular destination and highly recommended that you visit if you have the opportunity. Had a chance to get the other kids some souvenirs and some thank you gifts to grandmas for helping out while we were gone for more than twice as long as we'd planned. Had a great dinner and a nice day despite the madness. A rare opportunity to push reality aside, if only for a few hours. August 17th, Monday. Doctor's call. Faith signed out AMA. Doctor is almost in tears. Wishes that there was more she could tell us, and probably shouldn't even be telling us that, but wanted us to know. Mrs. V completely bummed, as am I. The battle was officially lost. Summer had been stolen from the other children. Vacation funds had been drastically reduced. It had been a total shit show. This is August 17th, Monday. August 17th. Would you look at that? So what the doctor wanted to tell them is probably that Ethan Ralph got them, took her out and told her about the AMA. August 18th, Tuesday. Fly back to CA. Plan for war. Faith still needs help, but she doesn't think so, obviously. Ralph knows Faith needs help, but is too afraid of her because deep down, he's a 15-year-old boy who doesn't know better than to not drink himself stupid and make awful decisions. Faith is not a good person. That much is true now. She didn't go for the kill, just cutting ties. She went for the pain. Ethan Ralph committed a crime. He released a pornographic video without the consent of the other person in the video. If he thinks that this is defamation, come at me, bro. I would love a civil suit where my attorney can cross-examine you on the details of how you did not commit the crime. My invitation to you is to take me on and clear your name, but we both know how that will end. After 6 weeks of struggling with our faith, Mrs. V and I lost our faith. Always end with a pun.
So now we have a much more clear picture on what's been happening behind the scenes. And it looks like there's still more information to be dropped in the near future on aborttheretort.com. Man, what's Ethan Ralph's reaction to all this? Well, he's doing okay. He's all right. My God. And in other news, Matt Jarbo has been in a state of sheer ecstasy watching the downfall of his arch nemesis, Ethan Ralph. And he's been ranting on Twitter for days about how all the people that once called him out for his false flagging ways are now too afraid to talk to him. So, as one of the people that called out Mundane Matt, I decided to let him know that I was not scared to have a back and forth. We set up a call on Discord and began a conversation about a slew of different topics. The conversation started by addressing his new spin on the infamous Killstream episode where he was caught red-handed flagging videos. And, of course, we covered the recent events with Ethan Ralph. And don't worry, we still hate each other.
And okay, I'm good to go. Chatting with Drummer828 today about a number of topics. I'm assuming one of them is going to be Ethan Ralph.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you can't talk about any of this without bringing that up.
Well, you said you wanted to talk to me, so I'm just kind of curious. I kind of figured it'd be about that.
Well, yeah, it's definitely revolving around that. The main question I have for you, because I keep hearing this, you know, I've been seeing, like I was saying earlier, I've been seeing a lot of you around more than recently. All the way to the point of hearing the claim that Mundane Matt has been redeemed. Do you believe that?
I don't care, to be honest with you. I don't give one iota of a shit about that. I buried that name in my backyard in a shallow grave. I don't fucking care. People keep saying it. I get that it's a meme, it's more of a joke.
You said it.
I've said it as a joke, but I don't give a shit, to be honest with you.
Because that's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you, how does Ralph setting himself on fire somehow change what happened to you in the past?
Oh, nothing changes what happened in the past. That's the thing. You can never go backwards. You can always go forward. That's about it. So acknowledging the past is one thing. Not doing it again is another. Learning from your mistakes is the key factor. But you can never change what's already happened. We don't have the ability for time travel. And a lot of people like to hold on to the past, and they like to think that it's some kind of magical beast you can go back and tame when you can't. So there's no point of holding on to it like it's some kind of lost treasure. You're never going to get it back.
Well, I mean, let's be fair, Matt. It was a little bit of a treasure for the internet. That was quite an experience to see happen. I've never seen anybody come on at the beginning of a show and swear to God that they had never done anything, only to be proven to do it. Well, and then take a knee and call themselves a soy-filled bitch.
Well, you know what? It was not my finest moment, to say the very least. But at the same time, you know, some people had fun with it 100%. I
definitely did. That. I had a great time.
Oh, I know you did. You went out, you bought a T-shirt.
You're damn right I did, man.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, we can kind of go back and look at it. You were one of the first Gunt guards, one of the first Ralph Simps. I mean,
Gunt guards. All right, hold up now.
Man. You went to Knoxville. You went to Knoxville, drummer. You were out there. You were on and
I had
with him.
I had a blast out there. We had a lot of fun, and it seems like you were watching every move that we were doing, which I found to be a little odd. You were sitting in a room, getting really upset about some people that laughed at you, watching what we were doing.
No, not at all, man.
And how did you know I was in Knoxville? How'd you know what shirt I was wearing?
Because people
on a random day that wasn't even that important. Oh, someone sent it to you? I've heard that before,
I get sent a lot of stuff.
Somebody just sent it to me. I don't even know. I wasn't paying attention.
It doesn't change. Well, I mean, it doesn't change the fact that you still, upon going to Knoxville, wore the shirt in order to impress Ethan. And now Ethan has,
you know my motivations. It wasn't because that was an amazing moment. I enjoyed having a shirt that made fun of you.
Sure. Yeah, I don't care if you bought the shirt, but it's funny for the motivations behind it.
You know my motivations, huh? Well, that's amazing.
Well, hold on.
We got psychic Mundane Matt. He's not just a false flagger. He's a psychic.
I'm a very observational person, and so
I guess you observed plenty of people making fun of you that you had to flag them, huh?
I only reported 13 videos, so you know what? I mean,
there was like
more than that about me. So there's that.
I made more than what?
More than 13 videos.
I think I made about 8. I think I made about 8, Matt.
I don't even really know, but
yeah. So you don't know, but you're gonna run your mouth about it, huh?
Well,
kind of like you think you know my motivations.
Well, dude, it's very easy to know your motivations when you run in this circle. Yeah.
Who was the first one to call out Ralph and all this shit? Like over a year ago. That was me.
You called them out. I
called him out,
and then
the second I saw a problem. Listen,
and then now you're hitting me up wanting to talk to me because of this whole Ralph thing.
No, the reason no, don't get it twisted. On, man. Don't get it twisted, Matt. This is the chance. This is the chance. This is the chance.
The fact that we see.
Are you gonna just continue?
You called me.
We can just holler each other over all day.
I want to acknowledge the timeline of events this morning. That's all I want. You contacted me.
I contacted. Do you think you know my motivations, and you're just going to continue to talk? Or are you going to allow me to respond to one of the myriad of things you've just said?
I'm simply laying out a timeline of events.
That's it. It's very special. Thank you for doing that, Matt. We're all very pleased to hear that. The only reason I've given you a chance to talk to me is because I've been one of the people that have made fun.
Chance?
Are you going to continue to talk? Are you going to continue to talk every time I try to make a point? Are you secure enough in your side of the argument that you can allow me to get a single point out without you talking over me?
I'm sorry. Allow me to bow to the modded drummer 828, ladies and gentlemen.
Bow down, bitch.
Opportunity.
Bow down.
Christ, dude. Get the fuck over yourself.
Bow down, Matt. Shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna talk now. Are you ready?
DMs going like, I don't like to wait, Matt.
Like, you're right. I don't like to wait, Matt.
So, owe you something? Come on, dude. I'm giving you my time for free. This shit's fucking funny.
You're doing me a favor, Matt. The only reason. Let me explain something. Let me explain something to you for 2 seconds.
Content is what I'm doing.
I'm giving you Matt, content. You've done nothing but talk this entire time.
Exactly. I'm really good at it. I'm great at it. So why don't you actually get to the fucking point you want to make rather than fucking try to posterize here in front of your audience? All right. Actually, fucking say what you want to say. Don't say I'm granting you the time. Fucking drop that nonsense and have a conversation.
Are you done?
You want it? Let's have it.
Are you done, Matt? Did you get it all out?
Let's go.
Okay, now it's my turn. The only reason I wanted to talk to you is to give you the fucking chance that Worski and Ralph won't. Because I was just the same as all of the other people that sat there and shit on you and fucking had a great time laughing at your fucking downfall back in the day. Because I think you got everything you fucking deserved. And I honestly, you deserve a chance to speak for yourself. So I was going to give you that opportunity. But you've come up on here and you've definitely shown your fucking ass in front of me.
Because you came at me in DMs with this fucking nonsense. Like, I don't like to wait. So you already had a chip on your shoulder going into this shit. Do you think
I should take a knee to you, Matt? Do you think you've done anything that would grant me taking a knee to you?
Why would I care if you take a knee to me, dude? I don't give a shit.
Well, you're here.
You clearly care
you're
about
fucking
me.
here.
You hit me up. You hit me up and asked me to come on and talk to you. And I said, I'll fire up a stream. You said you're going to do the same thing.
I said, I'm not afraid to talk to you, Matt. They may be afraid to talk to you, but I am not afraid to talk to you.
Me. I don't care if you're afraid or not afraid. You still came to me, owned that shit. You came to me. You hit me up in DMs. You hit me up on Twitter. You came to me. Make no mistake. That's where we're here. That's why we're here.
So I'm the one that made the first comment that said, you know what, I'm not afraid to talk to you. Well, now that's me. That's me being subservient to you.
I'm not saying you're being subservient. I'm simply laying out the facts.
That's fucking right. Don't ever get it fucking twisted, Matt. You know what the facts are? You were caught flagging. You were caught false flagging.
Yeah, I did.
You stood up in front of thousands of people and you swore to God. Oh, move on? I should let it go, huh? Sounds like you haven't let it go, Matt. Why are you going after Worski and Ralph now?
Because it's fucking funny. That's why.
Well, it is funny. I won't take that away from you there. It is funny, but it definitely sounds like you haven't gotten over it yourself.
It's not even about that, because I have, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be doing this if I hadn't gotten over it. I wouldn't be even remotely trying to make fun of this shit if I haven't gotten the fuck over it. The key thing here is, when you look at the people that are involved in this situation, or even look at the facts of my side of the story, which you interviewed an old guy I went to school with who lied his fucking ass off multiple times. So
you mean that guy you were like, oh, he's a piece of shit and all that, and he lied about his injuries apparently, but how he got injured is he went to basic training and broke his back or something like that.
Yeah, and then he milked it for all that it was.
Oh, he's milking it. Have you ever done anything half as honorable as, trying to join the military or any kind of public service or anything?
Let me ask you this though, man.
No, you're just deflecting. Answer the question. Have you ever done anything half as noble as that dude?
Have I gone to join the military? No, I haven't gone to join the military.
You done anything worth a damn other than try to save yourself?
I've been a security guard at a casino. I might not be the same thing.
Well, I salute you, Matt, and your noble security guard duties.
Yeah, my honorable protecting of the people's money. That's how it works out. But see, here's the thing that you don't know.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
I was friends with this guy for years, so I know why he joined the military. It wasn't noble. It was money. That's why he joined the military. And when he hurt himself, he was able to then use it.
You don't think there's another way to get money than joining the military?
You don't know Mike. I do.
What?
I know him.
What do you know about him?
I know him for years. I met him.
He had some stuff to say about you that seemed to line up quite well with what we learned about you after the flagging. What he said about you is that you went around and you talked a bunch of shit about people, and the second they confronted you about it, you pulled the whole. It wasn't me. I didn't say that. Which sounds just like your whole flagging situation.
That specific incident that he's referring to is that a friend of his. There was a mutual friend that was more of one of his friends who was mad at him for the way he treated him, and we were talking about it, and that got back to him, and that's all it was. That's all it fucking was. But Mike is.
So you weren't talking shit about him, and then when he confronted you, you didn't deny it?
Because Mike was out there, like he was talking about this other guy was talking about Mike's wife, and about the whole situation.
So it was the other guy.
This is like 2007 shit, dude. It's not even fucking pertinent. The whole point is you talk to one guy who knows me. I had other friends of ours we went to school with listen to that shit, and we all laughed our fucking asses off because it was nonsense, and we all knew it.
Oh, you and your friends.
We are the people who know him. We are the people who know him. You don't know him. You don't fucking know me.
Know him. He had a pretty good story to tell. I felt like sharing it.
He has a lot of stories to tell. He has a lot of stories to tell. Yeah.
So he lied.
I guarantee you.
You're saying he lied?
No, he's definitely one of those type of guys who's an embellisher. Like he embellishes.
He said the same thing about you. It's amazing.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he.
Are you an embellisher, Matt? Are you an embellisher? Really. You're not an embellisher. I'm usually
more of a down. I'm more of a down player. I usually downplay situations,
like downplaying flagging and stuff.
Well, because okay, if you want to actually go back to that specific line of questioning by Medicare on that specific night, what he asked me was, did I flag down Godwinson and did I flag down Dame Pesos?
And now, you flagged down Dame Pesos, absolutely.
I flagged Dame Pesos' later videos, but not the one in question. So
now you're splitting hairs, Matt.
I'm not splitting hairs.
I did not. People say I flagged Dame Pesos, but it's someone else. It wasn't me. I swear to God.
I did report him later on. I'm admitting to that. I did admit to that.
Matt,
the whole point of that situation was those questions.
Do you understand?
You're being dishonest.
I'm not being dishonest. Motherfucker, you're the one that got caught lying red-handed in front of thousands of people.
Go back and listen to the audio.
I've clipped this shit and shown it recently.
I'm sure you fucking have, but you're still not listening to what was being said. You're listening to what you want to hear.
He said, did you flag Dame Pesos? And you did.
I did not flag down Dame Pesos. None of the videos I reported went down.
You are.
Do you not pay attention to the
you are so. You haven't changed a bit, man. I don't think you learned anything.
No, because the thing is, there was such a narrative built around me that most people don't know my side of the fucking story, because people like you like to propagate lies and nonsense because you're a simp for Ethan Ralph.
And now I'm a simp for Ethan Ralph. Do you understand?
A simp for Ethan Ralph.
Do you not understand? Over a year ago, when your boy EarJuice, he's my friend. No, you don't get to stop me while I'm in the middle of my point, Matt. I'm talking right now. I'm talking right now because I'm making a point, and you're not going to stop me. Do you understand that?
That's fine.
The mic is mine.
Ooh. Okay, Mr. Hardcore Drummer, make your fucking point.
Are you ready, Matt? You called me a simp for Ethan Ralph. The second. You're gonna continue to fucking talk over me? Dude, you act like a t-shirt. Making fun of you was an embarrassing thing.
Giving him money. And that's you. Can you go meet him for the first time?
Can you bring up?
Wore that shirt. Can you go meet him for the first time?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You want
to know when I wore that shirt?
You wore it in Knoxville
when we did a stream after the fight was over and everything was done, and you were obviously watching, which is very fucking strange. And it was a shirt making fun of you, Matt. That's why I bought it. Yeah, it really seems to chap your ass.
No, you wanted to impress him, which is why you're so butthurt about him watching and talking to me.
Dude, you understand? Back in 2018, I called Ethan Ralph out and predicted everything that's happening right now. I called it all out and predicted it. And then since then, I hadn't been cool with Ralph. So to call me a simp for Ethan Ralph when I'm the one that called him out, predicted everything, and then now all of my predictions are coming true, and I'm documenting everything. The fact that you want to call me a simp is your fucking spin. It's your bullshit, and it's another lie from Mundane Matt. Congratulations, Matt. The legend continues.
You ever given him super chats?
Nope.
Well, you definitely gave him money for a shirt, so that's still part of the whole thing.
No, okay, it's back to the shirt again, right? I bought a shirt making fun of you. If I could have bought another shirt from someone else making fun of you, I would have bought that in a heartbeat.
And then you would have.
And I know, I guess spending money for you is like a big deal too. You know, for me, it's a matter of a T-shirt. I saw a T-shirt making fun of you when I bought it.
It's so funny that you're so defensive. It's a
defensive. You're the one that brings it up.
You're the one that's defending it. Oh, it's just a T-shirt. It's just a T-shirt.
Okay, what do you want me to do? Concede your point? Oh my God, Matt, you're right. I bought a shirt. Yeah. I should cry about it at night.
Hold on, but drummer, let's come on, man. Let's be fair.
Let's be fair now. You want to retract that or what?
No, I'm not going to retract it, but let's go back. We need to actually analyze the situation as a whole.
You can analyze my dick. You ain't nothing but a fucking shyster. And you're running around taking a victory lap when you didn't do anything. You had nothing to do with where Ethan Ralph is right now or Andy Worski. You had nothing to do with it. You sat on the sidelines and fucking cheered. And you've taken a victory lap, Matt. And you know what? You took your licks for so long that you actually gained a shred of respect from me. I was like, you know what?
I don't care about you, drummer. I don't think about you. I don't know you.
Good.
I don't give a shit about
Good. I'm glad you don't care. I'm glad you don't care. You don't care so much you came on here to talk to me, huh?
No, I came on here to laugh at you for being an Ethan Ralph simp and a gunt guard and the person so butthurt that you're talking to me.
Oh God, I've never even talked to you, Matt. The only reason I wanted to talk to you is because no one else would give you a platform. Nobody else. Ethan Ralph and Andy Worski and all the other people that made fun of you would give you a platform. I'm at least man enough to fucking talk to you face to
So
face.
so yes, exactly. So you are. That's true. Ethan will prank call me and then fucking.
Yeah, and that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. I don't like that. I don't like the prank calling shit. Listen to me. I don't like that prank calling shit. I don't like the doxing shit. Fucking whatever the fuck they did to you on top of just jokes is bullshit. And I think that shit was wrong. And I didn't participate in any of that. And like I said, you gained a shred of respect from me for taking your fucking licks. And I even think in certain cases, especially with the doxing and the fucking prank phone calls and shit, that it went overboard. I don't think you fucking deserved any of that. But it's what's gotten under my skin recently is, okay, I'll give you a victory lap. Even though you didn't do anything, even though that's not your victory to claim, we'll give you a victory lap. But listen, a victory lap is only one time around. But I keep seeing your ass going in loops and loops. And all you're doing is running in circles at this point.
Why are you watching me then?
It's kind of hard to fucking not see Matt Jarbo in all of the posts.
Very easy. You mute me on Twitter. You mute my name. You don't.
Oh, you see, I can't. I'm not like that, man.
So many ways.
I don't do that.
So many ways. There's so many ways for you. You recently subscribed to my $3 Theater channel. I saw that in the sidebar. I thought that was interesting. I'm like,
yeah, I did actually. When you started piping up. When you started piping up.
Yeah. So you clearly want to know what I'm saying. You clearly want to know what I'm about.
Yeah, I keep tabs on you.
Yeah. So that's you paying attention to me. I don't pay attention to you.
Okay.
See, this is the key difference here.
Yeah, you should probably stick to that theory when you're talking about what clothes I'm wearing and when I'm doing it and my fucking motivation.
All I'm doing is
you claiming you don't care, but you seem to know a lot about my fucking inner workings of my mind, Matt Jarbo.
Yeah, I pay attention to a lot of shit. And here's the thing, dude. I'm not dumb. It's not hard to figure out people's motivation.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well,
you're the one that showed your report history after flagging everybody.
I did, and guess what? My report history hasn't changed in 2 fucking years. Not one goddamn iota.
We'll say it again?
My report history has not changed in 2 years.
Oh, I bet it hasn't, man. I really hope you learned your lesson there.
No, because that's the thing, is like I got fucking mad at idiots and I acted stupidly. That's been known and I've owned up to that shit. The key difference, though, between me and let's say Ethan Ralph is that like I went out, I got fucking therapy. I haven't had a drink of alcohol in over a year. I'm on antidepressants for my anxiety and I've been evening myself the fuck out and
that's
working
good.
to better my life and my fucking family.
I'm genuinely glad to hear that.
Ralph. Now, what's going on right now is the fact that this dude, again, if you go back and you look at it, Ethan and I have this very odd kind of relationship because that's how we met Faith, is because Faith saw that Killstream episode and she talked to him that way. So as always, somehow I'm tied into Ethan and they keep bringing me the fuck up. So you know what? This is the thing. They keep bringing me up. I opted to keep my fucking self to the sidelines, work on my own shit. But after 2 years of this nonsense, fuck that noise. You come at me, I'm going to come back at you twice as fucking hard. There's way more dirt on them than there is on me. And I don't give a shit. This isn't about a redemption arc. This isn't about trying to fucking get back what I lost. I don't fucking care. I will burn it all to the goddamn ground.
Yes!
I don't give a shit.
Now hey, look, I like that. That mentality I can sympathize with, man. And
I'm not going to sit there and fucking take lies from fucking people, and I'm going to push back on shit. And that's including you for the shit you've said about me.
And what did I say about you that was a lie?
You reiterated all that goddamn nonsense.
I reiterated what? I reiterated what?
Hairs over fucking what was said or what was shown.
No, you're splitting the hairs.
I'm giving facts. I'm providing facts.
Facts like what?
There. Facts like the fact of the questions that were asked and my responses that were given.
You said you didn't flag anybody. I swear to God. That's a quote.
Flag anybody down. Anybody down. No videos went down. Dumbass. Listen to what I'm saying.
No.
The difference is in recording.
I'm not about to eat that bowl of shit you're serving me right now, man.
Because I'm right. And
no, because you're full of shit, man. You're talking about you're telling me I'm splitting hairs. You're the one that's like the word down. It was the word down. You know exactly what you went into that fucking show doing. You went in there to claim that you fucking didn't do shit, and you did, man.
I never touched
you
Ralph's
did.
Stream.
If you didn't do anything, what did you apologize for?
I apologized for in that moment the shit that I had done, but not the shit that I didn't do.
There you go. You did something then, right?
Well, yeah, but not what I was originally.
Oh, shut up, man.
That's the difference here. You want to talk about?
You need to stop.
Things I haven't done.
Look, man, you could fucking actually have a redemption if you would just fucking own your bullshit, man.
I owned my shit, asshole. I'm just not going to sit there and fucking take claims for shit I didn't fucking do.
There's a difference. You're not. I'm not buying what you're selling, Matt.
I don't care. I lived it. I fucking do it.
I'm not buying what you're selling, Matt.
All right. Well,
you know what I think?
On your bike, make a video.
Now you're gonna talk. Let's talk about my bike some more, man. My bike's pretty fucking cool. I like it.
That's cool, man. I don't fucking care how you make your goddamn content. All I'm saying is, in my side of things, I don't really pay that much attention. Shit gets shown to me quite often, but I don't dive into it.
Somebody showed it to me.
Yeah, because people have been paying the fucking attention.
Showed it to me. I hear that quite often.
No, that's the truth of it. I have 2 kids. I have a house. I have jobs. I do shit. People send me stuff when they find it funny.
Now, let me ask you this, man. In an honest question, what do you think? Why do you think Ralph and Worski, why do you think they won't talk to you now?
Because I will fucking call them on every goddamn thing that they've done. Every goddamn thing that they've done.
I think it's bullshit. I think if you're going to run somebody through the dirt, you should at least face them.
Sure. That's fine. I agree with you on that one. The problem with it is, though, is that Worski is such a fucking little bitch. And I say that to his truest intent. That, like, we were DMing the other night, and I'm like, dude, have me on your show. Like, you're going to fucking call me. You're going to fucking call me. You're going to have Kyler fucking fake being this investigative journalist. Have me on your show. Let's fucking talk about this. He blocks me immediately. Then he fucking plays Flight Simulator and he flies it into my fucking house. And I give him shit for that. Because it's the stupidest thing on the fucking planet.
No, that's bullshit. That's got to be the most creative way to dox somebody. Like, that's retarded.
I didn't even know about it until literally I was sent the fucking screenshot the next night. So I roasted him over it. Then he unblocked me in order to respond to it. I DM'd him again and said, why don't we fucking go on your show and talk about this? Or why don't you come on my show and talk about this? And then he blocked me again and went on this crazy fucking rant with Kyler for 4.5 minutes. Where they're trying to and all this shit.
Stand this Kyler dude. Where the fuck did he come from? Where did he come from?
I don't know. Is there an origin of cancer? Like, that's how I kind of view that. I mean, the dude literally looks like he does drive around with a van that says free candy on the side. He really does look like the kind of guy you would see in a horror movie that, like, oh yeah, that dude's the rapist. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he looks like. And he's got no personality. He's got no game. And he just vapes constantly into his fucking microphone. And I'm sorry, look, man, you got to agree with me on this one. What the fuck is up with 480p? Have you noticed that on their shitty ass stream? They can't go better than 480p.
I don't know why.
That bothers me. That bothers me. As a person who does YouTube and like deals in high definition, for some reason that does get under my skin. Like, come on, have some fucking respect, Andy. Put on a little bit of makeup, cover up the fucking coke acne that you've got on your fucking forehead, shave off that goddamn stupid man bun because you're not goddamn fucking Red Bar. And stop barking like a circus seal. This is the stupidest shit I've ever fucking seen. It is. It really is. Like, I don't like your content, but you at least put out more thoughtful content than they do.
Well, thank you.
And most likely suck 1,000 dicks in a row if it got him just a smidgen of Lino that he could use to buy his house in Portugal. He would have no problem just slurping it down like a fucking drink. Like, that's the kind of shit that comes out of those guys. Ralph, he's a fucking busted ass alcoholic dating an 18-year-old that he released revenge porn on. Yes. Who now has that over his fucking head.
Let me ask you about that. Have you seen what's his name, Mr. Vickers' website yet?
Oh yeah, I covered it last night.
Rad Roberts.
Yeah, I covered it. I know. I'm an e-celeb. I'm very well known online. I'm like, oh fuck, dude, did you say this while you were in jail? Oh my god, what are you doing, Ralph? What are you doing? That's what he does. Like, that is the ego. That is such the narcissistic ego. And I know what it's like to have an ego and fucking break that shit. But it's so funny when he actually wrote this as a fucking correspondence. Like, I'm very well known online. Holy shit. Now you're known for having a small dick and revenge porn. Like, there's no coming back from this for Ethan. I don't think even you, as a former friend, could even see a redemption in this particular situation.
It's going to be hard. I don't know. It's just once you pass a certain level, and you're finding yourself needing to prove shit to your enemies constantly, I think you're stuck in a downward spiral at that point. It's not a good place to be.
It's not. I mean, everyone was telling me a couple years ago, you should quit. And I'm all like, nah, I'll step back for a bit and I'll work on other stuff. And then, like, I was doing other shit at the same time. The key is to find something to do outside of YouTube. But Ralph's got nothing else going on. Convicted felon. He's got such a name that's run into the mud. I mean, association with white nationalism. with Richard Spencer, Milo Yiannopoulos. I mean, Mark Collette is a frequent guest on the show. I mean, that's only going to blow up in his fucking face. And now he's trying to become this, middle of the ground road commentator because that's what Dick Masterson does?
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
I think he was trying to expand his audience. He started bringing in a lot different people, and you're right, playing middle of the road kind of shit, but that's not his strength, and I don't see it going that way. I don't know what he's going to do, but it doesn't look good. I'll say that. The thing is, Ralph has nowhere else to go, though. He's a convicted felon with no work experience. He's got nothing else. So I don't see him leaving. He's not going to go anywhere.
I don't see him leaving, but I see him eventually doing what he does, which is self-destruct. And he's gone off of YouTube. He helped take down Stream Me. I mean, to the point of where they nuked that entire platform because of Ralph, ultimately. Now he's on DLive. They won't talk shit about China because DLive is owned by China. So even though I happened to catch a bit of it, what Phantom Organization was restreaming Ralph last night, I tuned in for a minute while I was doing deliveries, and they're talking about the Steve Bannon thing, and they won't mention China at all, which is the boat that fucking Bannon was found on. It was a Chinese boat. So it's like they won't mention it. They're afraid to talk about China.
Yeah, DLive is Chinese.
Exactly. So it's like they're getting themselves back into an ideological corner. They're not going to be able to talk about certain things as these things are happening. And all he's going to do is sit back and he's going to fucking pour whatever booze he's got in that Coke can, make you think it's Coca-Cola when it's really booze.
Take a little sips.
Yeah, and you can totally tell. Like, I saw someone go, "Yo, he's really drinking soda." I'm like, no, you don't sit there and take little sips of a time out of a soda can. It doesn't. No, that's not what you do. This is where he is, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest. As much as I hate the guy, and I fucking hate him, and I have good reason to hate him, I feel bad for him because there's such an emotionally broken person that has never had a solid male role model in his life. Well, and every time he gets close to one, they fuck him over, or he fucks up and they leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's his fault for fucking it up. But I don't know if you read what is it, aborttheretort.com, the whole story. It's a chronicle by Matt Vickers. Is that his name? Matt Vickers. Yeah, Matt Vickers. It's Faith's dad, and he just breaks down everything that's been going on behind the scenes from his perspective, and then the things that he's experienced. And it's fucking crazy. And I said this a couple days ago. I started this thinking that Faith chick was probably the victim. But I think now at this point, I think she's holding Ralph hostage. I think so too. I think she's got dangerous dirt on his ass when it comes to that whole revenge porn possibility. And he's done, he's got to hold on to her now. Because if he lets her go, he's fucked.
Man. I mean, no, it's very true. It's not even if he really lets her go, because I think at some point it's going to kind of naturally come to its own conclusion.
Well, yeah, she's going to cheat on him.
She's going to cheat. Yeah, she already was. And and then he was out there saying like, oh, I don't want her back. According to the dad, like he's trying to break up with her to urge her to go back home, but she's calling him relentlessly. Every opportunity, she's calling him. This is after the revenge porn came out. So, like I think she realizes that she's got him because she's a person that seeks that kind of control. There's been rumors, I don't know how true they are, that she's got some kind of humiliation fetish, that she likes to have the boyfriends be humiliated. I mean, in Chris, a halfway crook, he's kind of like that. He still wants her. He still wanted her after she went to Virginia and she was clearly living with Ralph. He couldn't believe that this was happening, and because she was lying to him the whole time. So she manipulates men who have teenage mentalities, which, let's be fair, Ralph does. And it's but the other side of it too is Ralph equates sex with love. So if they're together physically, then
and doo-doo.
Well, didn't he? And I heard this today because someone told me this today, that when he was in Knoxville, he got a hooker. Or maybe it was Miami.
That came from Geek spilling the beans on Worski.
Okay. Oh, Geek said that. Okay. I mean, I guess the source on that is kind of so Worski got the hooker or Ralph got the hooker?
No. It was Ralph. But okay, we got all the info on that when Worski just kind of ditched Geek and went over to hang out with the Killstream.
Damn.
And Geek was like, yo, what the fuck? I've been waiting on you to come back. You come back. I was here for you. I did everything I could to help you. The second Ralph, calls you up, you just ditched me. And that's when I was like, all right, motherfucker, I gotta talk about this. I mean,
find
I'm
that
not even
really
buddies.
funny.
I'm not even buddies with Geek. But I know how much fucking Geek did for Andy, and for Andy to just leave him in the dust. I was like, dude, that's fucked. For Ralph,
that's exactly what's going to happen with this situation. I mean, Andy's as soon as Andy can find a way to make the subcultured or the twisted mind of Andy Worski somewhat sustainable without the Killstream. And they are making good money on there. Like, there's no denying it. They are making good money.
do you think there's a weird thing going on about where this money's coming from?
Oh, yeah. I've said this for a long time. My theory, and this is just my theory, is that in 2018, when the Worski Live was hosting all the right-wing shows, and there was money and money and money and money coming in, like more money than you would expect to come in these situations.
Yeah.
My theory was that at the time you had alt-right people that were trying to bring alt-righters into the mainstream. And they were using these right-wing shows on YouTube through super chats to enforce that narrative. Because, let's be fair, you and I are both YouTubers. If a super chat comes in, we're thankful for it. And we also talk about what they say. And it's not hard to dictate the conversation if you are putting money into the conversation to keep people on the subject you want them to talk about. Then psychologically, the YouTuber will then go, well, that worked for me. I made all this fucking money. That's the direction I got to go. And then they'll find a way to bring more of those people on and further push that into the mainstream. So I think there's a lot of money laundering that was happening. I have no proof of any of it. It's just the theory that I've been working on.
I don't know. It seems strange.
Well, even on D-Live, it's like all this money comes in. Ralph made $500 to shave his head the other night.
The fuck?
Like, isn't that just weird? Yeah, they bullied him. Gator and Bibble, I think, bullied him into shaving his head. And then he's like, oh, I'll do it if I get like a Ninjini or Ninjet, whatever the bigger one is. And then like 3 of those came in within a few minutes. And then more lemons and more Ninjets or Ninjinis, whatever. And he got it for like about $500, and then he shaved his head. So it's like,
man, I don't know. There's something weird there.
There's some weird shit going on there. And I think that whoever's sponsoring him, and I do think he's got a bit of a background sponsor, I think it is tied to the right, which is why he's not going to be able to get away. We see this. I mean, we know that there's a lot of money spent on advertising in politics. But now when you look at the fact that social media has such the reach that it does, and we know that more people get their information through social media, and more people are watching YouTube or listening to podcasts because it's direct contact with that person. Putting money in is going to be a really easy way to get that person to sponsor that content and therefore put it out to their audience in a way that comes across as acceptable and very endearing, because this person that they trust is talking about it. Therefore, they subconsciously trust it more.
Okay, well, I don't know about all that. I mean,
it's some weird, it's a theory. I got no evidence. I got no evidence of it. All I do is I look at it, and I know YouTube as a platform very well. I've gone to multiple trainings. I've talked to multiple engineers and asking questions about what's going on in the platform. And the platform is completely fucked 100%. It's all compartmentalized. No one knows what either hand is doing. They're trying to make it work, but it's clearly not. But then you look at like how they push the money. And how YouTube it makes it very easy to get outside money coming in, because all you need is a credit card, and you can easily go get one of those from the store and just load it up with money from some bank account somewhere. And it wouldn't be hard to financially put money in to run money through, and YouTube takes their 30% cut, and they don't give a fuck where the money comes from.
Yeah, it's a theory. I don't know how. I don't know. I can't run with anything that on that level. I just don't know enough about it. But
yeah, no, it's true.
It just seems weird. It seems like there's too much money running through it. It's not that. I don't know. I just don't see that being a legitimate amount of cash to be flowing through.
Well, there's also like other avenues of cash as well, right? So you have like, it's not just super chats, although those are a big factor. You've got like the different tipping companies like Streamlabs, or I don't know what else anyone else uses. You've got like Subscribestar. You've got Patreon, which is not hard to launder money through Patreon because they use PayPal, and that's very easy to do. You've got, all these different avenues of funneling money in. And the only money that we know is like public is what people showcase, either through super chats or through the lemons on D-Live or Patreon. But we don't know what comes in through direct donations. We don't know what comes in through merchandise sales or any of the other avenues. So especially podcasting is a big one, because podcasting, and Ethan talked about this a while ago. I saw this post from him, and he goes, oh, the Killstream got like 77,000 listens this month. And he was really happy about that. But if he's got advertisements on there through whatever company, I don't know if he does or doesn't, like that is a lot of people to directly market to. And there's so much fucking money in podcasting. They put more advertising money in podcasting than anything else right now because of that direct connection.
Oh, I'm getting bored to sleep here. This is the part where it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. We're throwing shit up in the air now.
This is what I do. This is what I do.
What?
I pay attention. I read. This is what I do.
Well, that's neat. I mean, good for you.
Well,
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I can't say you're right either. So I don't really know.
I'm not saying I'm right either. I'm just looking at it and coming to a conclusion. Okay. But it's all hypothesis. It's all theory.
I've just noticed a large amount of money flowing through, and I've heard people talk about the whole fact that, yeah, it is. I've heard the money laundering idea come up before. I don't know. I just haven't spent much time thinking about it. Apparently, you have. And there was a lot of shit you just delved out there, which I'll have to look into myself. But
well, this is what I was doing since 2017. Was just paying attention, not to people, but to the platform and to different platforms, and to trying to understand the data better, because I've always found it to be an interesting subject to look into, because of how much of our sphere relies on it, and how much of our sphere is now dependent on it, and how easy it would be to manipulate. It's like, for example, and again, this is not to derail, but it's like, look at the 2016 presidential election. Right?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm just giving a surface level thing here. The media, whether you believe them or not, were like Facebook and Twitter were what was predominantly being targeted by the Internet Research Agency. That's what they said. That's what our intelligence agency has said. That's what they say. But they always focus on Twitter and Facebook as being the key factors. Well, I'm like, why don't you guys ever talk about YouTube? 2 billion monthly active users. It's easy.
Well, YouTube's the competition. Anything mainstream news outlets or anything like that, they don't want regular people to have a voice.
And they never talked about YouTube at all in any of that. And I'm like, how easy is it to build somebody up? I know that during the 2016 presidential election, because I wasn't big on Hillary, I was moderate towards Trump. I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I gained a fuckload of subs, and I made a fuckload of money, like a fuckload of money. And then when I started criticizing him because I didn't agree with his policies, then I started losing all of that.
Well, yeah, you're going against the grain there. That's not the flow.
That's not the play. People don't want to go against the grain. Me, on the other hand, I'm a bit of a contrarian, so that kind of happens at times. So, but that's what I'm talking about. Is like there was so much that went into that, and it got me thinking, like, how many other people are like this? And I talked to a lot of YouTubers, and I know a lot of YouTubers that have privately said that they're deathly afraid of their audience because they are afraid to go against them, because the audience dictates what they make. The audience dictates if they pay their bills. The audience dictates everything. And so
that's a shitty position for anybody to get into in the first place. I think if you're looking at YouTube like it's going to be your fucking job, you're retarded. You can work at McDonald's and make more money than most people make off of YouTube.
Yeah, that's actually pretty true. You can make more money doing Uber Eats delivery than most people can make off fucking YouTube. You know, I'm just saying I can speak to that wholeheartedly. I make really good fucking money doing it.
And you're not going to have to worry about some weird moment where you get called out and exposed for some shit, or you get drunk and you have a fucking episode. Go get a real job. If you need money, get a real job. There's no shame in the game. Go do it. But this fantasy that YouTube's going to be your fucking chance to finally make it, I think the more people that believe in that, they're fucked.
Well, to be fair, and this is only because YouTube was putting that out there a number of years ago, and they've never really walked back that statement. In fact, they still very much actively kind of push the idea that anyone can do this and anyone can be a millionaire. They basically they now
that's why they promoted all those rich YouTubers that show off their mansions and shit. That's like, that's what that's about. That's pushing the narrative that come here, engage in this thing and make us some money and you'll be rich too. That's the biggest lie I think YouTube ever pushed.
Yeah, no, they really did. They really did. And I've gone to their headquarters in LA. I've gone to their events at VidCon, and they put a lot of money in. They fucking put a lot of goddamn money in. I mean, it's like fully catered and full bars and tons of gift bags and all sorts of shit. And they pump the money in to keep those people, on the platform. but they all still make so much cash. And now YouTube actually, I don't know if you know this, YouTube actually has their own sponsorship company. They bought FameBit a couple years ago and are now curating which YouTubers will get sponsorships. And these come with like, you know, we're talking like 5-6 figures because of how big they are and how much of that direct connection they can make with the audience. So there's so much money at play that everyone's got their fingers in it in some way or another. And it's interesting. It's really fucking interesting.
Well, I have to look into that. Well, Matt, I think we should wrap it up, man. We've gone pretty far off course here, but I got to say it was interesting to actually get a chance to talk to you. And like I said, I've run your name through the fucking mud. I thought it'd only be fair to confront you face to face, at least have a talk with you for once. And it seems like the other people that have done that haven't. Outside of EarJuice. EarJuice has been trying to get me to be buddies with you for a while, and I'm like,
EarJuice and I talk. He's a good dude. I like EarJuice.
I've been telling EarJuice to fuck off when it comes to that shit.
Well, EarJuice has talked me into working with Jarbo the Hutt, so that's going to be fascinating.
Really?
I'm doing that for I'm going to be doing the actual vocals for another rendition of Better Than Me.
Oh my god.
But I am changing some of the dialogue just because I'm changing some of the dialogue. You know, some of that's what sucks. I'll tell you this, like there's a line in there where like, you know, people bring up that whole story of when I was 15 and in church and the girl lied about me. And they like to, I have to reiterate that because people think I was like in my 20s or some shit, which is like not true. And she fucking lied about me. So they bring that up constantly. One of the things Jarbo the Hutt, like,
did she lie?
Yes, 100%. Are you kidding me? That shit fucked me up for years, dude. I did not want kids. I fucking was like, I don't want to be like.
I don't know, man. The story was kind of weird. You were like, dude, she told me she wanted me to put my seed in her. I was like, that does not sound like a 13-year-old girl, Matt.
Well, she didn't say. I did play that up then for that. But what happened was she legitimately was working in the school in the church nursery. And she was a former Jehovah's Witness.
All right, we don't need the whole story again.
I'm just saying she was like, I want a baby. I want you to give me a baby. And
that's
I'm like,
fucking weird.
No.
I don't know. You know. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. We were gonna wrap this up.
It was a long time ago, but it was just anyway. There's a couple lines about that that's in that song, and I'm like, I'm gonna change those lines because it's like I'm not gonna sit. I mean, but the problem though, and this is where it sucks, is the one bar where like. I guess my voice, I asked a question like, oh, did you punch her in the face or use a knife like I did?
Yeah, it's a killer line.
It's a fucking good line. I can admit that. It's a good line. It's not true, but it's a good line.
And I'm like, it's not true.
I'll call you an Uber. I'm so conflicted because it's like, well, I'll tell you this and we'll wrap it up. I don't mind the art. You know what I mean? Like if the thing with the last 2 years has been very fascinating is that people have created a lot of art. There's been 2 musical albums made about me, tons of memes, tons of other things like that. And I appreciate, as weird as it is to say, I appreciate the art. I appreciate the work that goes into it. Yeah, it's weird, but it's like, I've never been mad at the memes. Like I literally, called my podcast Boulder Talk Radio using the image of me as a uniboulder because I think it's fucking brilliant. It was so fucking funny, and I've always really liked it. So I appreciate the art. Even if it's extremely scathing of me, I can still find the value in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Weird, right?
All right. Anyway, Matt, it's been an interesting conversation.
I agree.
But like I said before, when I thought we were wrapping this up, thought it would only be fitting to give you a chance to at least say something for yourself. Like I said, I've run your name through the fucking dirt before, and I'm not afraid to fucking talk to you face to face. And I give you props for fucking not being afraid to talk to me face to face.
Well, we're both better than Ethan Ralph and Andy Worski.
All right, I still don't think we like each other though, right?
No. Oh God, no. No. I don't want to make this a regular thing. I'm not a fan, and you're not a fan either, and that's perfectly fucking fine.
All right. We'll agree on that point then. We don't like each other.
Do you enjoy these videos? Do you want more? This just in? Well, help us grow. Tell your uncaring family. Tweet it out to your loser friends. Think about me while making love to your spouse. How's about a thumbs up? Maybe check out the Patreon and tip your entertainer. The more feedback these videos get, the more videos I'll make. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to spread the word and tell the world about... This is just in.